Hi everyone, I'm Emiliana. I've been teaching English for 15 years. Here is my experience in Techno-CLIL. I've started this course because I wanted to know more about CLIL, and I have started it with enthusiasm. I tried CLIL in my classrooms, but I understand that there was a lot to read, a lot to watch, a lot to learn in this course. I tried CLIL to teach geography and history, creating projects with other teachers, but I didn't know how to plan CLIL perfectly. In Module 1, we started with the question, what is CLIL for you? But actually, the question was, what is CLIL? Content Language Integrated Learning. I had a lot of inspiring ideas in the first module. For example, the CLIL framework, processing the test, identification and organization of knowledge, language identification, task for students. I understand the 4 C's: content, communication, cognition, and culture. So in the first module, I have learned how to plan my CLIL lesson, objectives to achieve, skills to develop. The second module was about web tools. I love web tools. I always use web tools to create my digital lessons and to let my students create their own products during my lessons. I have a lot of favorite web tools, and I sometimes share my lessons by using QR codes too. Here are my online lesson that I have on my page. That is here, my purchase. Actually, in this module, I learned a lot of apps that I can use, but even what is cool, for example, computer assisted language learning, in which learner uses a computer to improve foreign language competence. What is a CLIL pyramid that is based on the 4 C's framework? So how to plan my activity, and all the web tools shown. My favorite is Blend Space, but even Padlet, Powtoon. In Module 3, we were asked to plan and implement a CLIL path. The 3 A's tool I learned: analyze content for the language of learning, add content language for learning, apply to content language through learning. And then I created my learning design. My learning design was about history, the Tudors, because I love British royal, this British royal family, and I want my students to know them, to know the Tudors. So I started the activities with a brainstorming, because I want my students to know which is the period. So we started from prehistory, the Romans, the Anglo-Saxons, the Vikings, the Normans, the Tudors, just to let them remind what they learned in Italian history, for example, and in Italian lessons. And then we read some text, and only after this we started the collaborative activities. I divided the class in groups. They will use the internet, tablets, and a shared laptop with a Wi-Fi connection and a monitor, interactive monitor in class. Each group has to summarize in a short paragraph the information found and add explicative images. So groups has to work on different topics. For example, the first group has to create a timeline of a period mentioned in the text. They have to search images on Google and correct dates. The second group has to find information about Henry the Eighth's life, what he did, the six wives, the schism from the Roman Church, the Renaissance attitude. And then the third group has to find information about Elizabeth I's reign. The fourth group has to create brief Tudor's family tree by using apps such as Mindomo. And only at the end, the students have to create a shared Prezi with different slides. The students of each group will create a slide on the Prezi. After this collaborative activity, there is the presentation. So the students has to present their digital product, and other students and the teacher have to listen to them and give their opinions by using the SWOT analysis. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities to develop the digital product. After this, I shared an assessment rubric with my students that I made with Rubistar to assess use of vocabulary and grammar structures, researches online, responsibility in the group work, problem solving, and even the presentations on the fluency and the intonation. And so this was my activity for module 3. After this was module 4, and I have to say that this was the most complicated module to study, because it talked about extensive reading approach. So first of all, I had to learn what is extensive reading. And in the end, after understanding that is just reading for pleasure, I have to create my own activity. And it was very difficult, because I have to let my students read quickly and enjoyably with adequate comprehension, so they don't need a dictionary. Okay, it was a challenge. It was a challenge because I haven't got a lot of graded readers books. Maybe I have just 15-20 graded books, but I have 6 classes of different levels in different schools. So I created an activity that after I understand that it wasn't actually an extensive reading activity, but it was a way to catch students' attention and to introduce the activity of reading in English in their lives, in the students' life. So I created these activities that is based on the book Twilight by Stephanie Marius. And actually I did this activity in different classes, in third classes. And at the beginning, I let students remind something about these books, because in the classrooms there are always students that read or watched the films, and students that don't know anything about it. Then I divided the class into groups. I gave them a page of the book that is just a short reading about when Bella Swan and Edward Cullen, the 2 main characters, met for the first time and talked. So the students didn't have to understand anything, but they have only to understand what was going on. Then I let them watch the scene mentioned in the book, and so after watching the scene and understood the dialogue, we try to find the differences between the book and the film scene, and only at the end I let them listen to the song A Thousand Year by Christina Perry, that is the soundtrack of the film. So actually, as I said before, this isn't an extensive reading activity, but this module gives me a possibility for the future. I want to organize an English library, and I have only to think about how to do it. Then there was module 5. I remind something about Flipper Castle and Bayard with lot of materials, because there were a lot of materials, and so I decided to create a CLIL repository that is on my Pearl trees. Here I share it online because it is for me, but it is even for other teachers too. So here there are all the sites mentioned during the course. And then I submit my assessment rubric, and that I made with Ruby Star. And what else can I say? In this module there were a lot of things. And so I have to say that in the course there were a lot of things. Facebook group gives us a lot of materials, the Twitter page, the YouTube channel, the Telegram, but even the free webinars with a lot of experts who use CLIL in their teaching and share their ideas and materials with us, and the tests at the end of each module that give us immediate feedback, and also star badges that can be considered a prize at the end of each modules. So I have only to thank you, Techno-CLIL, because it was a long journey in which I learned so many things, and so thank you, and thank you for this great opportunity, and happy teaching to everyone. The only thing I have to say at the end is that I made my digital portfolio as asked in Moodle, and here it was a way to list all the things that we have done during the course. And so it was really important to me to have this digital portfolio, because now I can share it and I can read it in total and understand all the things that I learned better. So thank you again. Thank you, Letizia and Daniela, for your support.